This is a box, a musical box. So we see if it's going to play today. The answer is no, it won't. I think it's dead, don't you? Let's have a look. This is a Philips EL3510. Also has an AG number as well, which is written underneath. I think it is an AG8107. So never know what it is. I never knew it's dead. What's in here already? Let's have a look and try and find out exactly why, shall we? Because it's what we do on this channel, isn't it? Mostly. As I said, it's completely and utterly dead. I just checked that to make sure. Yes, that's dead. With it dead, that should make you rewind. That should make you rewind. That's stop. That's off. That's on. Yeah, with these decks, everything is on this button. I do work with a while back actually, a Stellaphone ST451. Stellaphone or Stella, like Cossa, was of Philips manufacture at this time, and this is a Philips. A Philips that's not that healthy, shall we say. Well, it does nothing, so it's not that healthy. So we'll have a good look, shall we, and find out precisely why not. That is working, by the way. I'll check it and make sure. But with that in mind, first thing I do is check the fuse in here just in case it hasn't blown, which it shouldn't do because it's actually 13 amp here. I made this one 13 amp because I thought, well, be easy to change elsewhere. So that's okay. And with that okay, therefore, press it down like that and see what we get across the plug. First of all, with it off, we should get absolutely nothing. We get absolutely nothing. With it switched on like that, we get absolutely nothing. There, we still at least get the motor. We get absolutely nothing. So, like I said, we've proved, therefore, beyond all reasonable doubt, that this unit is dead. But we could try and make it live again, can't we? Well, I think we can. So usually when a unit like this is dead, it's actually the easiest thing to find. You can usually find it problem very quickly. So that's what we're going to do here. So take the tapes off and put them somewhere safe, like on there, right, and we'll have a look inside this machine. Those knobs are a bit hard to get off, so I stopped the camera just to allow me to say certain unfriendly words while I'm taking them out. Shall we say non-Duckenberg friendly language, because I do tend to use a non-Duckenberg friendly language. If you only had one arm you're doing this, I think you would as well, but that's my excuse. and I'm sticking to it. So with these, first of all, this thing shall come off. By the way, always switch it to one of the winds to switch it off, to pull it apart. Because believe it or not, with this, it's there is. I'll just turn it around so you can see. You see that there, that actually holds everything down until it's in one of these positions. So that must always be checked. Okay, that's tip number one with these sets. Now the heads are okay. I don't know about that there. Don't know what that is actually, but we'll find out soon enough, I'm sure. Okay, that's that. Okay, so this lot does look to be look okay, but as I've said before, on these units, the on-off switch is linked up with this underneath, so we have to go in a bit further. I'm not quite sure how to get this apart. So what I'll do, yes, I know there's mounting instructions, but mine I've got for it is in French, and I don't speak French all that well. I try my best at O level, but I've got a grade E. You know, I was more interested in mending the school language labs than actually learning the language. So that's what I did. Yeah. So if I now take these off now, will it come out? And once it comes out, I will be able to look through and find out precisely why this particular tape recorder is currently not on this planet. It's dead. It might be a parrot, but it's dead. Not panning for the fields, just dead. There's oh, right, okay, right. Well, I'll put it on its side and see if it'll come out. Is that now going to come out? Where's my light? Hang on. Doesn't work, that one. Use a foam. These foams, by the way, have a light on them, which is does come in very useful, doesn't it? So there's nothing there anyway, I don't think. Right, so it should come out. Should. Doesn't mean will, it should. There's a slight difference in language there, you know. It should come out. there are in fact other screws which might come out. So there's two on the side here as well. So I'll remove this cover, these screws here. With the screwdriver the right size, and hopefully then it'll come out. Right, I've got the thing apart, but what's the first thing you see? Somebody has been in here and with the two valves. On this, they are, if memory serves me correctly, I have to check this, EC383 and EL84. This happened me a lot with tape recorders these days, because those valves are quite collectible now, particularly for musicians, and so they tend to whip them out of things like this and put them on eBay, which is where I got this one from. What else? In the back here, I'll just turn it around so you can see if I can. Capacitor wise, you can see that okay. Those Weaver caps, there's 4 or 5 of those, they do give problems, so I think we'll need to change at least 1 or 2 of those. Again, that's not a problem. But the deck, by the way, on this is different to the one on the last one I did. This one actually, rather than having two rather than having 2, that's one. It's actually a long spring, so that should be okay. The rest of it works okay. Obviously, we want to clean, but again, that's something which we do as we go along. So now, on the circuit here, the fuse, yeah, that's our first port of call. Obviously, if that's dead, then what else might be, you know. Doesn't look like it is, but looks out everything. Because that looks a bit dead to me, that. So that fuse appears to be dead. Now, a fuse can die for a number of reasons. Yes, fuses can die of old age. It does happen. So what I do is I put one in. First thing I do is check it out of circuit, because the fuse holders can get dirty. So if it's still bad now, then it's bad. Okay. So again, with the meter on continuity, all we do is go across the fuse and see what we get. That is the fuse, not a circuit, with the fusing circuit. Obviously that's gone. Okay. Now why is that fuse gone? So that's so this point we always look at and are immediately on our guard, especially with the valves missing as well. So there might be something big wrong with this. I don't know for sure. If there is, well, we'll sort it as it happens. So I'll get a fuse, put it in, and we'll see if anything springs to life. A 2 amp time delay fuse has been put in. That might not be the right value, but what I'll do, with it being time delay, if there is anything going to smoke, then I'll be able to see where before it cuts off. And if not, well, I'll put my buttons, my fingers on the quick test anyway. There you are. So whenever that's in, you see there it's 134 ohms. That's the transformer and the motor. Because on these, the motor comes before the transformer. Those are most tape recorders of this type. So now, that goes up like that. That goes in, and see what happens, shall we? That goes down, hear buzzing noise in the transformer. I don't get any noise. It smells that smells that I shouldn't. So now we go, and the motor works. There we are. One way, then the other. Okay, fine. So that's doing something. Okay, fine. Okay, so that's doing something. We'll be doing weights the right way up anyway, but now it's working at a funny angle, so the motor is now doing something. So now, if we take the power off again like that, I can now put the thing the right way up and see if it winds and rewinds everything else. So we'll do that. Yeah, we'll do that. Right, here it is, sort of like the right way up on the bench here, as you can see. The speaker's still connected because it can give you an audible indication of any faults there may be. So let's fast forward. Let's rewind. I think we need to sort those out. Yeah, that's play, and that is record. Now on record the DM70 should light up, and it isn't doing at all. Now that is not such a surprise. It's not a surprise because the DM70 runs off the cathode normally of one of the valves, and both the valves are missing. So now it's time to probe around with the meter and make sure that various voltages are there before we put valves back in. I'm not putting valves in this until I know that they are going to work okay. That's vitally important. Don't put valves in something like this until you know it's going to be okay, because valves, they're not getting any cheaper, are they? Let's face it, they're not. And for that reason, you know, the idea of putting another valve in and see what happens, for a lot of you, and now that has now gone. So we now look under here and see what we can find. Now the transformer's down here, so 600 volts, okay. Let's go to deck like that, and one of these valves is no. I'll check on the. I'll check here first. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. Hang on. I'll put the meter up so you can see. Hang on. Can you see that? I don't think you can you? How about that? Can you see that? Hang on. I'll rearrange ourselves a bit here. Hang on. Try that. Can you see that? Can you see that okay? Okay, right, okay, so we'll do it again. Okay, so now on the on the capacitors here, it's only 16 volts and 268. So they were working, and also if there weren't, the voltages would be lower. So that's something else we need to look for. We need to look forward to with these is adapters. So now, next place we're going to look is the EL84. Now the EL84, which I'm told it is on this, I'll check in a bit, but I'm going to make a guess here. Obviously, first of all, we've got that's not right. I don't think that's right, is it? Let's ask the ECC, because the ECCs and the ELs are wired differently, of course. So the ECC, by the way, operates two 6.3 volt heaters in the unit wired separately, and so what happens is that one of them goes to the goes on the circuit, and the other two are linked together. So it's like both of the trials can be controlled separately. So where's the EL? It's down here, I think, isn't it? Anyway, that goes on to 20 volts. And that goes to there, okay. That goes to there, okay. Lots of okay in this game, by the way. That's something which is a figure of speech, meaning I think it's okay. Anyway, let's have a look and see what we can find with this. Nothing, okay, fine. About there. 7.2, that's okay for offload. And this one here should also be offload. I don't know what that should be actually. Okay. So there's only one after that used. That's the case, but you never know. Interesting. I'll have a little look at the manual on that one to make sure I'm right. The manual for this is available, and so I think it's time to get it and have a look at what is what and where is where and things like that. I've had a look at the circuit in French, and I've printed off for the circuits and the layout here as well, just for future reference should I need them. And first of all, that circuit and this unit don't exactly match. Only a small thing, but the circuit says the EZ80 on the power supply side of it. Yeah, in actual fact there's metal rectifier, but that doesn't matter so much, you know, so I'm not too worried about that one. The next thing, of course, is we know the HT is alright, then the heater, no, there's the LT. Okay, so with no valves in, it should be a bit higher, and that and this should read something like 7 volts or so, because the valves aren't in. So there's a meter, you can see that, and there you are, 7.7 volts. Bit high, but I'll live with that, okay? So now, but what I'll do, I haven't at this stage decided to put valves into it yet, but what I will do is check these capacitors here and make sure that they are okay, as in, well, okay. One in particular, if it's one of those, does need to be checked. So first of all, check these. Quite simple to do. Yeah, there should be that's okay. That is not that was anything that could well be okay, but again we'll change it. But here and here, over here is there. Again, there's not very much. So again, an earthing cap. Now, what I will do here is look at them each individually. That was 125 volts there, so I don't know. That one might be the earthing cap. So what I can do is to check is the leaking up. Yeah, that goes to deck, that goes on, and now we'll look on one side of it and the other, and the other side of it should say note. Okay, so that says note, that says note. Okay, note. No, okay, well that one, okay. Also that one. Hang on. We ain't on that side. And what on that side isn't where it should be. So 88. So that one probably needs to be changed. Okay. This one here, yeah, one side of it. Note, the other side of it. Again, note. But so that one definitely needs to be changed. And while we're here, also, if you look at the EL84, not in the circuit yet, but if you go and have a look, there should be capacitor between there and what comes before, which of course is that there, so it goes up, so it's capacitor 9. Okay, there is capacitor 9, one of those. I bet you any money it is. If it's not, well, never mind. But I'm just making a bet here that might well be wrong. Okay, so capacitor 9. And guess what? It does appear to be that one there. So now, next thing we do is change these caps. Before we do anything else, change these caps. We know, by the way, from the crackle on the heater, but when I went from this to the anode of the venter, we had a crack in the speaker, which shows us that the output transformer and the speaker are okay. We know that's okay because we've got the HT through, so it should be okay. If not, not to worry, because there's plenty of ways to skin a cap, so we can get around that one. So time to take all the WEMA caps out, I think, or whatever people want to call them. They're coming out. That's the next thing. As you can see here all the various capacitors that needs to be changed have, apart from one which is a very low value one which goes to date, so I'm leaving that out for now. They are on order, and when that comes in I will fit it. But now if we plug it in now, switch on. By the way, in my stocks I found an old well, fairly well worn EL84 which I put in. And now if we go onto, that's the input to the pencil section there, okay? And it goes there, it goes there, so now of course we've got to go back and look at further back. Now look at the circuit diagram here. This is all I've got, so this is what I've got to work with, obviously. It goes to this big switch here, and this switch is the one which controls everything. So the first thing I'm going to do is put that on there like that. Then I'm going to switch it to play, which is there. And again, they should be here. And look at all this lot here. Now it should go to pins, either pin 9 or pin 6, I think, of the ECC. Now, the ECC is not in the circuit, but having said that, I want to make sure that it's going to be okay before I put one in. So the ECC 83 is here, and the anodes are turn upside down, so it makes a bit of sense here, you know. Pin number 1 and pin number 6. Pin number 1 and pin number 6. So therefore, with it in playback through here, there should be something on pin 1 or pin 6. But I'll go through and I'll check them all just to see what we find. Once I've got that out of the way, and that, so we can let the dog see the rabbit. By the way, with this being in French, I can't read French. I tried. I failed the exams quite spectacularly, but swearing in defence oral was probably not a good idea. Oral exam, by the way. I know it's sort of minds up some of you have got, you know. So yeah. So therefore, I go through and I check them all. So that comes up, okay. And does it come up here? No, it doesn't. Or here, or here, or here. No, it doesn't. Right, okay. So I'll go around and check them all anyway, because I've $239 volts there. That's obviously one of the. That's obviously one of the anodes. There. That's one. Okay. The other one, therefore, must be around here somewhere. But I can't get anything out of this valve, and even with the valve not in circuit, I should be getting something at that first L1B anode there. If you look at the circuit, there's a circuit. Now hang on, I'll just pull it in a bit, hang on. The EL884 is there, it's in circuit, and it's okay there and there, which goes up to here. To here it should go, and it should go to the to this valve here, which is the ECC83 here. Yeah, and so therefore, even with that not in place, there should be something on that anode there. There has to be, but it doesn't appear to be. So I'll look through, and as always we'll check and see. So it goes there, that's there, okay, nothing there, okay, so nothing here, I'll put the negative back on the meter, and turn the meter up so you can look. There you are, can you see that? Both these anodes should have a voltage on them. We know that because that's the way trials work, so there has to be something on these anodes. There has to be by law. Law of electronics, that is. Okay, so there should be something on there. Which there is. Okay, yeah, that's okay, yeah. And so, looking round here, there should be another one with a possibly similar voltage on it, which, well, there doesn't appear to be. Nothing. 42 volts there, okay, that's better than nothing, I suppose. So I think the next place we look is the voltages on this valve and find out where they come from. I'll switch it off here too, because otherwise we might have a problem with the capstan getting a dent in it. There we are. And so, look at the circuit again. Can you see that? Can you see that? There you can, okay. Okay, I'll hold it. There you are. Right, okay. Both those come from the power supply, obviously. Through R15. Through this switch here. So that's where we'll look next. Now R15 comes from down here. And so a quick that goes to there. Now one goes to everything, so I think we'll look at the junction of R2 and R23, which is there. You see, that is the power supply side of the circuit. So we'll go and have a look down here. Look at those resistors there. Okay, so that's where we'll look next, and we'll find out if they're okay first of all, and if they are, what voltages are coming off them. It was a simple dry joint on this down here, which I've now sorted. Now, if you're going to do this, by the way, with a meter, always make sure it's on the highest voltage, okay, or disconnected. Have it connected so I can listen for sound and measure voltages at the same time. So now, if we go to volume control here, we've got it, and there, come down here, it's there, okay, and from there it goes to There. So now I've got it all the way through to the ECC83. So I will now go and look and try and find the ECC83, put it in, and trace it right back to the head. The ECC83 has gone in, and 2 more dry joints were found and rectified, along with every other joint in this thing actually. But at this point now, with it in the play but off position, the second position of the knob on the front, yeah, it's actually an amplifier like that. You see, so that's it. That then proves that most of the circuit is now okay. Now from there, if we switch it to play, which I'm going to do with it switch on because it's not the easiest thing to get to. Like that, yeah. Now, if we switch it back on now, you see, there'll be nothing here. Or there shouldn't be. And there will be here. Yeah. That's the first input of this, the first stage. It's pin 2, or on that circuit there. It is it's that point there. Okay. So it's okay from there to there. But now, from there now, it will go to the head. But I don't see where it's meant to go because it doesn't seem to be going anywhere it should. Now that is not doing anything, as you can see, well that is, yeah, it now goes back through these switches to the heads. So, goes from here, like that, and something like that, yeah. Down to here, yeah, get that, and from there it should go to the head. But touching the head doesn't produce anything at all. Now it might be the head, in which case I've probably got one knocking around so I can put in, or there's something else with these switches here which have been an absolute nightmare on this machine. Everything is on one switch, and when that one switch is it's been damaged or hurt, then this is the sort of thing that happens. So it's going now down to there, okay? And so now I've got to find out where it goes from there to the heads. Now I'm not quite sure where that is yet, because it's quite hard to spot. So I'll have a good look at the circuit and the diagrams and work out where the head goes in relation to that switch. Well, I've looked around and I've found another circuit which, although the power supply isn't the same, the rest of it does actually seem to be like this. If you look, there's that and there's that, and there on the circuit here. So this is actually more like this circuit than that is. So I'll put them out of the way and concentrate on these. Okay, so now comes out there, down here, up here. Yeah, so now I've done a load more dry joints. There's still something on that switch, but I think we might possibly have it here. So once it's warmed up, that's it. That I think is going to the heads. So what I'll do now, I'll stop that just for safety's sake. Pull the mains just for safety's sake, and put this thing the right way up. and see if there's anything on the head. And if there is, I'll put the tape back on and see what we get. It's this job has been made a lot slower by the fact that there seems to be more than one version of this machine out there. So if you do get one of these, be wary of that. The two versions actually, looking at the two circuits, this one, if you see that and that, you see, they match there, you see. Now this circuit here doesn't seem to have that. The top one, or the top bottom one, yeah, but the top one doesn't seem to have. So I've got circuit. No, I haven't. Okay. But obviously there are more than one version of this machine. So be ready for that. Okay. Be ready for that, because it's something which will slow you up a bit with these. So this one has had two new valves in there. What? Not new valves. I've not put brand new valves in this, but actually a lot of repair shops they want the Mullard valves more than anything else. I looked on eBay at the prices for the Mullard EL84s, and the prices are absolutely ridiculous. I mean, absolutely. I mean, two used EL84s, 150 quid. I kid you not. So I don't know why that is, apart from possibly audio failed, but it's something to sort out and think about. The Mazda ones are okay. The Chinese ones vary in quality. The Russian ones, I don't think we'll get those for a time now. So the price of diesel may go up. But like I said, you don't want to put anything too bad in this, because this is not an audiophile machine. So, you know, the cheaper ones will do up to a point. Right, you and me are going to sort this out and find out together with this. So now, of course, we've got it the right way up on the bench. So let's fast forward. That's your work, needs a bit of work, that. Ah. Well, the electronics are okay, but the deck is now requires of a lot of work. This deck, by the way, is the one which doesn't actually have the pause control on it. So yeah. So now we've got to look at things like why the motor is not pulling it around properly, and correct that as well. So now it's time to look at the deck. I heard noise out the speaker from this tape, so we know that the electronics are now sorted. So now onto the mechanics, which is interesting to say the least. With these, the motor is here, I think, and of course it goes like that through here. So I think the first thing we need to do here with the motor is find out why it's not doing what it should that's okay, that's okay. But on the record deck like this, the motor side of it and the take speed is held constant by the capstan and the idler here. So I think the first thing we do is give it a bit of a clean, and then we'll try it again. That's the first thing. But now I know the electronics are okay, including the heads, by the way, I can now go ahead and clean this, not worrying about whether I've wasted a load of my time or not, which I was wondering a bit with this actually, but now we've got to I'll start by cleaning the capstan and the idler first of all, and then of course we'll try it again. Of course it might be because of that's nice. Try that again. That's in there. Of course, we've got to clean this here, round here, and the idler and capstan, like that. The capstan looks fairly clean actually, but the idler doesn't. So I give them both a go going over, and I look at the wines while I'm at it. The motor appears to be doing something. Besides the why it's not doing what it should, that I really don't know. If I did, then I'd be a happy bunny, but at the moment I'm not happy bunny. By any stretch of the imagination here. These decks, by the way, do have certain things which go wrong with them, so it's another funny thought with one of these funny decks. So stay with me on this. I'll find it in the end, I promise I will, but maybe not immediately. Now I've here we are. They get some of this stuff. Like that. Actually, it's nearly empty there actually. I've got another can of it over there, so we're not too badly off. But the muck coming off this capstan is something to behold. It looks clean, but they often do look clean, but in this case it isn't. It does happen, you know. Tape decks and record decks, it really is a case of cleanliness is next to, well, in the past I would have said godliness, but not now, because I don't believe in God anymore. But that's me for you. This tape recorder is not the same as the telephone I did earlier on. It looks the same, but a difference is, one of course is that there's no pause control, the area there. But the telephone, if I remember rightly, which is dubious, it had two belts going, one for each spindle, going off the motor and this thing underneath here. This one doesn't. It has a belt which goes through, like a metal belt which goes through there, and another belt I think which goes and drives the rest of it. It's a difference. So what I'll do is I'll get the rest of the manual up on my phone, and I will have a look and see how this deck is done, take you through it and sort out what the problem may well be. I think it's the second drive belt, but I'm not sure yet. Okay? As soon as I know, you'll know. I will start here by having a look at the design. On the top there, they are the wheel tables, yeah, and the heads, yeah. Underneath, that big belt there goes through drives both of them from the idler wheel underneath there. Yeah. Now then, they drive them, yeah, but nothing else. The motor, however, also drives this wheel here. Yeah. So that's how it works. Okay. Now the motor on this is on the side. Hang on. I'll. Can you see? Here. Yeah. Now, if you look inside there, I don't think I can show you, but I'll tell you, there's a wheel there which drives it all, and it's crooked in there, so something has gone well into alignment in here. Yeah, the motor, everything else comes out, and so that's what we're going to do now. Is take that motor out and have a look and find out what is out of alignment and put it back in alignment. This is probably what put the thing out to pass it in the first place, because normally there's something that does. What it is, they don't know until they look into it. But one said recently that there's so much done to it that I didn't know. So I don't know why the fuse went. I noticed that the valves have been taken, but now if you take out this, then we should be able to look inside a bit closer and find out what is going on. I don't know how well this will show up on camera, but there's a wheel down here, an idle wheel if you like, similar to the kind you get on record decks, and it's at an angle, and it's an angle because of this here underneath, that there, that's out of shape. And so with that right, and the motor reconnected, because I had to just get the motor to get that off so I could get to it. With them off, I think it should actually work. The motor itself spins very well, so I'll leave that and try and sort out why it's not going straight. It's gone off for some reason. I don't know why, but it's got to be put back. So that is what I'm going to do. Hopefully, it will just be loosening, putting it straight and tightening. That's all it should be, but I won't know that until it's done, obviously. Right, well, I got the hot housing off like I saw it here. It's here on the circuit, yeah. Now also with the motor off as well, which goes behind it. That's the motor there. You see, for those you want to know what a motor looks like, that's a motor, yeah. And the wheel behind it which drives the deck, which is this wheel here, yeah, which is this lot here, yeah. Now this lot was in fact okay, but that is held on to this thing here, yeah, which was bent out of shape. So I bent it back, and now I'm going to put the thing back together in pieces, resolder the motor after I've re-oiled it, and we'll then see if it feels like playing at the right speed. I don't know if you can see it here. I'll show you a diagram in a minute, but that there was way off centre, bent out, as was this here. I'll put them back as far as I can, and I'll put the wheel back underneath and put a slightly stronger spring in place to hold it in place. And the motor, I'll put it back on for now without this in place, so that we can actually see what it does and doesn't do, because I'm very concerned that this is still not going to work. But yeah, so like I said, it might well, still not work. But anyway, if it doesn't, what we'll do is I'll bend stuff about until it does. That's something which you have to do with these sometimes, so I will. But everything is set up, as far as I can tell, as per the manual. But if something else has been modified or changed, then, you know, I'm going to go a bit further down. These decks, by the way, one thing I will say about them, don't be afraid to take them apart, the bit you find apart, and put it back together again as well. Don't, only one part of one stuff, not the whole thing. And also with these, the manual does give you diagrams, so it's very easy to do. I'll show you the diagram of this before I go any further. Right, this is the area in question here. Yeah, the motor goes up there, you see, and that wheel drives the deck. That's the big wheel which drives the spindles and has the metallic drive back round, of course. So basically, that wheel, this here was bent out of shape here, and that spring was either the wrong one or something happened anyway. So I put a new spring on there and put that lot back in, and now of course it should operate, I hope. It's one of those things which with these decks you have to muck about a bit. So basically it's like a record player or series mechanism in a way. That's the spindle, that's the motor, that's the drive wheel, either wheel, and that is the turntable in a record deck, and this is the big wheel in the middle there. So that's how it works. So I'm going to get this set up and we'll see if it works. The unit is now the right way up, although not fully together properly, but fully enough. Okay, I've a tape on it. I've also took out the DM70 because it's it's easy to break, and it's not working anyway, so that's something else I'll deal with. But now let's see what happens. That's okay. That's not. Well, it's better than it was, but as they used to say on that TV programme, it's better, but it's not right. And so we're not there just yet, but we're nearer. You look at the circuit again, so the diagram again here. There seems to be a okay, let's stand up so we can see it. Can you see that? Yeah, okay, right. That seems to be adjustable there. So I'll have a look at that as well and check this again, because I'm sure the problem is here. And the whole lot was bent out of shape, so it might need a little more judicious bending. But we are getting there, Right, with the thing back together, like I said, that's fine. That needs looking at. But of course the main thing, of course, is the playback. And as you can hear, it's not the best in the world, is it? So a little poke around now to see what the problem may. It's not that, okay? Or that. There's something here. By the way, I bent that back as well, by the way, in case it was that. There's not touching anything, but it's not affecting it anywhere whatsoever. So it's not that. It isn't that either, because if I push in forward, go slower. push back a bit, doesn't work, so that's a bit right. So therefore, the problem might well be back down here, which is really nice, isn't it? Right, how interesting. So now, if I stop that, I can't do it now. No, I can. There you are, stopped. So we're back down underneath here. So in a way, we're not back where we started, but we're close to it. Oh well, these things happen. But before I do that, I'll have a look under here as well, because and clean things as well, because unfortunately, although it's probably down here, cleanliness is next to godliness with cassette decks, so that's the next thing to do. By George, I think I've got it. Yes, I think I've got it. It's the winds were okay, but the playback wasn't. I'll put some oil down here. That's the into here, and it seems to feed that up, but there's still something with this here, so again I've done the same here, feed all that up, and now it's nearly there. Now at this point, now with that being almost nearly there, like that now, the next thing we're going to look at is these tables here. And that is because the take-up reel here, this reel is a little bit low down. And it should be up a bit. This means therefore that washers under here, one is probably missing, or two. Because if I'll switch on again now, straight away, it's going. Yeah, that one is two. But again, as soon as that one starts working again, and that one's weak. So I reckon, therefore, first of all, that is there's a problem under here. So now these two are going to be taken out and cleaned and put back in. With these, you always do it one at a time. Yeah. So I'm going to do this one, then I'm going to do this one. Get it clean, get it right, put them back in, and hopefully it will wind back and forth. I'll also put some more WD down here and in here, and that might put this back in a working state again. At which point we have to go and look at the record side of it. Now, this speaker isn't the speaker that was with it. I took that off with the cabinet. So this is one which is probably not the right side, and it's newer, so it's probably not as efficient, because the older speakers were so much more efficient. So this is probably not the right speaker for it, but it'll do now for testing. So now, this one off, clean, put back. This one off, clean and put back. Apply this one with an extra washer, and we'll see what happens. These decks, by the way, the one thing they must have with these decks is persistence. That's the one thing with them. You've got to keep going. You've got to keep, because they'll throw one fault after another after another. This deck has done it already, and so you keep going, and don't be scared to take things apart. once I got the pictures, which are here, all the pictures, I've got them here. So these decks, they're not brilliant by today's standards, but they do work, and they work well when restored properly, which is what I'm going to do here with this one. Like I said, cleanliness is next to godliness. So what happens here? Well, first of all, take off the spring clip from the top there, like that, and the table, the spindle comes off like so. Yeah, this needs a good clean, which we'll do. I've got both off actually, so there you go. Now, if you look in here now, I find that there is a lot of debris from these on here, that, and that, which have been worn down over time. So what I thought the first thing we'll do, these are tool zone grommets, and some of course are like that, so whatever it is can punch through them. Okay, now I've got a lot of these tool zone grommets like that one, yeah, and this is from the other side like that. That's quite thin, but thinner than these, yeah. And so I thought what we will do is take the ends off these, yeah, and then with some oil light put them on here, and then try putting the tables back on and seeing what happens. It might be enough, especially with this one, yeah. So these come apart with a pair of pliers or scissors or whatever, and I will glue the middle of them. I will cut up and I'll glue them here, here, and here. Yeah, that's the plan anyway. So again, I shan't do it on camera because I tend to use, shall we say, non-Duckenberg friendly language. So that's what I'm doing here. Yeah. And then of course I'm afraid I might well have to take this off and oil it under there, which promises to be an equally fun job. You know, sometimes I wonder if maybe I should be sacked from this job, or if I was working for somebody else I should be sacked. You see, that is a circuit I've been using with this tape recorder. Yeah, it's the wrong circuit. The same model number, but the wrong circuit. Yeah, this is the correct circuit here. How do I know? Well, I know because, stand up there, yeah. I know because there are components on this circuit which I could not find, and I can't find them on this, which is the correct layout for it. And so when it came to erasing and recording on this machine, it motorboated, it made a noise, but it didn't erase on the tape. Now, first thing I did was check the eraser, that looks okay. The capacitor, one capacitor from both of them was missing, so I've got to put back in. I've got a replacement for that, so it's another one of these Weimer things that I noted for their problems, particularly with the Continental stuff. And so we're back to square one, I'm afraid, so I'll go and put this lot back together again, and then we'll take it from there. With the capacitor put back in and the other one replaced nearby with one of those Weimer caps, you now have, hip hip hooray, erased, or did just now. So I'll just do that when it comes up again. There we are. So now we'll do that and that, like that, like that, yeah, and now go back like that. That erase, that rewind still isn't right, by the way. I'll go look at that again. And now we do that. A blank tape, just been erased. There you are. Now the next problem we have with this actually is a motorboating sound on microphone record. Now I know the capacitor gone in here that's not the right one. Do that one again. So that is the next port of call. So I'll take this off again like that. Then I will get a microphone as well, and we'll see if it records. If it does, then the next thing, of course, will be the DM70. But we're getting there, slowly, very slowly, but at least we're getting there. Now, as regards the DM70, I'll put it back in because I changed that capacitor on the input section of the microphone and it still makes that noise. I'll demonstrate. That noise, yeah? All the other microphone setting, which is switch 1 down here, the other switch is okay. But while we're here, I'll look at the DM. Is that show it? On the hang on, I'll come in a bit closer. Just stand by. There you are. You see the green exclamation mark there? That is the DM70 or 71. In this case, it's a 71, but the difference is the socket. That's all. D meant it's 1.4 volts, so it doesn't go in with the other valves. That'll blow it straight away. And you can see there, you see, it's not doing anything because I've not got everything plugged in. If I do finger the back of the control for back of the socket, yeah, I will get. You see, that is from me. That is from me touching the socket. Okay, so that should come up and work. That's if it does. That is me touching the socket behind. Yeah. So we know from that. We know from that it does actually record as well. So that's okay as well. So now what I'll do, I'll go and get a microphone that fits, because it's funny fitting. Find a microphone and we'll see if it records my voice as well as the motorboating effect, because if that's the case, then the chances are that somewhere there's too much gain. You know, it does help in these situations to put capacitors in the right way. This is probably because this set has several circuit diagrams for it and several diagrams of late, and none of them actually are the same. So that's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. But C5 here on the circuit, there's the circuit just for the reference. C5 was not connected up properly to the R3, which is this resistor here, and so it was therefore not doing what it should have been doing. That's play. And this is record 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. This might not be very good because unfortunately that microphone is not in the best of health, but we should be able to 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. There we are. So that is purely down to this microphone bubbles, but the rest of it is okay. So now the electronics are at last sorted. At last. So now it's time for I'm going to have another look at this this rewind thing as well. So I've got some of this stuff. This is thermal adhesive tape. I got it from CPC, and hopefully with this I can I can balance them properly, which is what I think is all it needs. So no, I'll take the thing off all in one go like that. There we go. So there go out of the way, and now we can go back to this lovely little problem here. And now it's time to look at the wind again. Underneath there are two stickers which on the bottom of the wind, on the bottom of the pin that goes to the wind goes on. One was missing, one wasn't, and because of that it did not rewind properly. So we both off, which is probably not the best way to do it, but that's what I've done it. That's fast forward, and that's rewind, which does go up to speed actually. It takes time, but there you are. And so that's alright as well. So now, this is tape, by the way. Part of this has been taken off because of erasing, but it should come up in a minute. Hang on, I'll go forward a bit. Hang on. Go in a bit more. Plinky plonk, yes. Well, here it is, working after all the time, all the problems. Forward, reverse. It does record, by the way, but I've not got a mic for it, so that's what we play. Anyway, this one has had a number of faults with it. The fuse has blown, which doesn't seem to be caused anything that I can see. It does happen sometimes that way. If another one goes in and it blows, then you know you've got a problem. The valves are missing. Somebody's had those. I want to take the motor out with this one and sort out the stuff behind it, as you saw. The driver wheel, of course. And of course the idler and caster wanted oiling as well, because that was particularly bad. The capstan was okay. The oscillator circuit, by the way, the problem I had there was the fact that, and I'll say this again because it's a very common problem with these, there are more than one version of this machine and you need to get the right circuit. This is a British machine, although they made a whole, this one's for the British market, and so you must get the British circuit, which is here. Okay, always have the British circuit. The other one has gone in the bin out the way, you know. But they are similar, but the laser difference as well. The circuit I have does not work to that late. That's the American. That's the French circuit, as you can see, chassis electronic, which I assume means electronic chassis. I think that can go as well. So there you are. It's a Philips 3510. There's still a few about, but although I say tape recorders are good to begin with, and I always like them, I know, this is not a machine for a beginner. This deck, it works well, but it's a, shall we say, not the friendliest machine in the world when it goes wrong. I've got circuits of all parts of here. Fortunately with this deck, because manuals have plenty of diagrams of the deck, which is very, very important with these. But it's not one that you can do without that. I've to take parts of it apart. Don't be afraid to take bits apart, by the way, but always manuals and take one bit apart at a time. Also, and to rebalance the forward and rewind as well. That's something else which happens quite commonly with these, so that's something else. So anyway, it's a working machine at last, and for that reason I'll say goodbye from Steve's Long Stay Workshop, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye and take care.